I love the movies. I love a really good movie. And the reason that I love a good movie is that out of those good movies come life experiences. I mean, things that you can hang your hat on and be proud of and participate with, grow up with. Exciting things. I especially love the movie Woman Walks Ahead, about a young widow who was a painter. And she was about going to paint things that brought majesty to her life, excitement to her life. And she heard that Chief Sitting Bull of the Lakota Sioux had never been painted. Never. She said, I'll rectify that. And within a few days, she was on the train to North Dakota, where Sitting Bull was, at a reservation. And folks, when you set your mind on course, you're going to rectify something. Not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to be happy that you're showing up. Not everybody cares what you're about. But you do. And it means something to you. Even on the train to the Dakotas, Catherine Weldon, the artist, was told, go home. Boy, it's amazing how when you set your mind to do something courageous, that the naysayers come out. What are you doing up here? We don't need you here. Go away. You can't do this. Negative, negative, negative. But you see, Catherine had a 3-strand cord that all of us have. We may or may not know about it, but we have it. And that 3-strand cord was her attitude, her conviction, and her courage. All 3 of those she exhibited in her trip and in her time with Sitting Bull. Many things happened to her that she did not expect. Her luggage was stolen. She got to the Indian camp, and the leader of the Indian camp said, I order you to go back to New York. Have you ever had anybody order you when you were on a mission that was magnificent and you were excited about it, and then all of a sudden everybody's not excited about it? Catherine had some really extenuating circumstances. There were many life messages in there that I was pulling out of that movie as I watched it. And I've watched it probably 10, 12 times. And I get just a little bit deeper understanding about how strong this 3-strand cord is in each one of us. If you don't know what your 3-strand cord is, you should discover it. Because you have opportunity after opportunity to do something magnificent. There was a scene in which Catherine Weldon, the artist, had really riled up the city people, and it was a small town. And they were mad at her, and they didn't like her, and they thought she and Sitting Bull were having some sort of affair, and they were mounting an insurrection, and they didn't like her. Many people in that area said, go back, get away, we don't want you here. But Catherine had an attitude. She had conviction, and she had courage. You see, attitude is what sustains you. Conviction is your driver. It keeps you going. I am going to rectify that, she said. And she did, in amongst all the negative turmoil. But here was the hard time. One day, while she was in the city citizens had ganged up about her. And they sent 2 ruffians over, and they beat her up. They blacked her eyes. They kicked her in the side. They stomped on her. But the most humiliating thing of all, the most humiliating thing of all was they urinated on the ground, rolled it up in a mud ball, and wrapped it all over her face. Boy, have you ever had anyone do that to you? You see, Catherine had that 3-strand cord, and she wasn't giving up. She didn't care what got done to her. She didn't care what people said to her. She didn't care if it wasn't all peaches and cream. And yet it was a shocking awakening to her, like it is to most of us, that when we are on a journey and nobody wants to go with us, we're out there all alone on the train and they're telling us to go back, we persevere. And those 3 strands of that corn, that cable, that attitude, that conviction. See, conviction is who you are. Courage is your armor. You see, you can do great and mighty things once you realize what your conviction is. And you have attitude, just take charge of it. You have courage, be like John Wayne. He said, courage is saddling up when you're scared to death anyway. It means, yeah, you're going to be scared sometime. Sometime you're not going to have what you want. Sometimes you might be looking at somebody beating you up or wanting to, either with words or bodily. But if you've got conviction, and if you maintain your attitude, and if you have courage, then you will make it. Because you see, attitude is your sustainer, and conviction is your driver, and courage is your armor. You can do it, Mr. Toastmaster.